How do you survive managing a brilliant but disruptive project manager? We need to talk about project managers who are just brilliant, but they're an absolute handful to manage. You know the type. They're going to smash deadlines, they're going to impress your stakeholders, and they seem to operate 3 steps ahead from everybody else, but somehow leading them feels like a full-time job in itself. One minute they're a genius, the next minute they're causing drama, resisting feedback, or throwing a hand grenade into the team dynamic just because they can. Let's be honest, every single meeting feels like a TED talk because they've decided to deliver it unprompted and for free. So, how do you manage someone who delivers results but makes you want to reconsider all your life choices? We can break it down into multiple steps. So, your first step is leveraging their strengths without letting them run riot. This kind of project manager thrives when they have autonomy. They hate being boxed in and they don't love rules, and they'll challenge anything that looks remotely like control. Instead of trying to rein them in completely, play to their strengths. So give them the kind of work where they can operate independently, get them collaborating with their peers who can handle their energy so they're not steamrolling the quieter members in the team. Make sure they have clear deliverables so they can't claim, "I was too busy innovating," when something gets missed. You want them focused and driving impact without everyone else feeling like they're surviving an endurance test. Your next step is to set expectations early because you do not want to be managing chaos later. Disruptive PMs are not great at unspoken rules. If you don't set clear expectations up front, they're just going to create their own reality where everything is non-negotiable, deadlines are loose, and feedback is optional. So you need to be crystal clear about one, what's not negotiable, things like collaboration, communication, and deadlines. Two, how you expect them to engage with the team, because if they alienate people, they're going to become more of a problem than an asset. And three, where the boundaries are, because if they start treating you like an obstacle, you're going to be in for a rough ride. You need to be firm, direct, and consistent, because the moment they feel wiggle room, they're going to push past every limit you set. Your next step is coach, don't control, because if you try to micromanage them, you're just going to lose this battle. Here's the thing, you cannot out-control a disruptive PM, because if you tighten your grip, they're just going to push back harder and start playing games, and suddenly you're managing their attitude instead of their work. Instead of policing them, you need to coach them into better habits, like when they resist feedback, don't just correct them, use ways to make them reflect. You need to ask them things like, how do you think that approach impacted the team? So they can't dismiss the problem. You need to keep them accountable for their behaviours, not just because the output, it's so they don't get away with acting like the smartest person in the room while making life hell for everyone else. Your next step is to know when to intervene and when to let go. Some project managers thrive when coached, others not so much. If their disruption is consistently outweighing their brilliance, then you've got a decision to make. Is their impact worth the chaos, or are they just exhausting everyone without actually making things better? Have they improved with the coaching, or are you having the same conversation over and over again without any real change? Is the team quietly suffering because sometimes everyone else is just putting up with it, and that doesn't mean it's sustainable for you or anyone else? If the balance is off, hard conversations need to happen. Sometimes that means putting stricter guardrails in place, sometimes it means finding a different role for them, and sometimes it's just about knowing when it's time for them to move on. So, can you actually manage this type of PM? You absolutely can, but you need to structure boundaries and a clear strategy. So you need to play to their strengths and not micromanage without letting them run wild. Set expectations clearly and don't leave room for interpretation. Coach them, but don't control them, because pushback is inevitable. Know when enough is enough, because leadership should not be a survival game. So have you ever managed someone like this? How did it go? Drop your battle stories in the comments on LinkedIn.